From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Today's concert has been developed or produced in collaboration with the National Endowment for the Arts and the National Council for the Traditional Arts, and we want to thank them. These concerts also allow us to increase our own collections. All of these performances are recorded and will be placed in our archive and will eventually make their way up to the web as a webcast, so that we can share this with people all over the world, and so that we can share this with future generations. So with that said, let me ask you to turn off your cell phone or any other devices if you have anything turned on at this point. Today's final concert is a performance of Irish step, dance, and traditional Irish music, which was curated and put together by NEA and NCTA on the occasion of Kevin Doyle becoming one of the 2014 National Heritage Fellows. And we want to congratulate him for that great honor. As many of you know, the NEA's National Heritage Fellowship is the highest honor given to any traditional artist or musician in the United States. Kevin hails from Barrington, Rhode Island, and he first learned Irish step dance as a child from his mother, who learned the steps from her mother in Ireland's County Roscommon. From the age of 10, Doyle competed successfully in many East Coast feis, earning U.S. Irish Dance Champion honors. He teaches and performs with Rhode Island Celtic music performers Pendragon, folk performers Atwater-Donnelly, and international Irish dance ensemble Atlantic Steps. And today, Kevin is joined by an illustrious group of friends and colleagues, including Séamus Connolly on fiddle, himself a winner of last year's National Heritage Fellowship. Kevin is also joined by Donna Long on piano, Chris Stevens on button accordion, Josh Kane on flute, singer Mary Lee Partington, and dancers Maureen and Shannon Doyle. So please join me in welcoming Kevin Doyle and friends.
I wish you were here by my side on this ship heading straight for America. Here I am, Margaret Taylor, with memories of Boho, County Roscommon, packed in my bag. The waves seem to keep time as they slap against the hull, and I can't stop my toe from matching the rhythm, or my ear from hearing Miss McLeod's reel on the wind. I am looking to the future, Ma, for you always said you can't go forward by going back unless you're step dancing. So I packed something for the journey to remember you by. One step forward, no tears to cry. Ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of Rhode Island State Council on the Arts, Randy Rosenbaum, and all the very welcome guests of the National Endowment for the Arts. My name is Mary Lee Partington of the Celtic music ensemble Pendragon, and it is my great pleasure to introduce National Endowment for the Arts 2014 National Heritage Fellow, Rhode Island's own Kevin Doyle. Kevin learned his first Irish step dances from his mother, Margaret Taylor Doyle, who immigrated to the United States in the 1930s. She raised her children to dance in the Fox Point neighborhood of Providence, Rhode Island, within range of the call of the gulls and the scent of salt spray from Narragansett Bay. Please, a big round of applause, Kevin Doyle! Woo-hoo!
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to be here today to carry on the heritage that was passed on down to me. And part of that heritage for me was growing up in the Irish community in Providence in the 1950s, early 60s. It was sort of like a natural progression for me to want to go do some Irish step dancing. My mom was a beautiful step dancer, as it was said, but she also started teaching my sister Maureen at the age of 6. And we danced together for 40-some years. And because we were surrounded by the Irish in Providence, it was always a place where there would be someone doing a party piece, someone doing a little step dance or playing a tune. But it was often said that if there was any good music being played, would someone please jump up and don't let that good music go to waste? So we did that many times, and my mom taught us some of the best steps that I've ever had and still dance today, which you'll see now. I'm going to invite my sister Maureen out, and we're going to do one of the original dances my mom taught us. Maureen Doyle.
Maureen Doyle! And well, that hometown neighborhood of Providence, Rhode Island, figures so largely in the music and the dance that we have to share with you today. In the music that you just heard, All-Ireland flute player Josh Kane was performing for you. And in that neighborhood of Providence, a young fellow used to come through in the 1920s by the name of Michael Coleman on fiddle. And it's said that when he stopped, he got to play for a wedding. And at the wedding, in addition to meeting the bride, he met the bride's lovely sister, and a bond and a marriage was formed, and on down through the story, along comes a young fella on flute who makes us proud indeed, from his great-great-grandmother, Rose Coleman Kane, all the way through to her nephew, Michael Coleman. For Josh Kane, a round of applause. The call of the gulls and the white-capped waves around Kevin's early neighborhood in Providence recall a similar Irish scene painted in poetic language. Dr. Scott Malloy of the University of Rhode Island reminds us of the state's historic role in the well-being of a most famous Irish poet. This up-and-coming young writer would find himself published in Providence, and in the words of William Butler Yeats, happy to have the Providence Journal as his only regular and certain paymaster. The White Birds by William Butler Yeats. I would that we were, my beloved, white birds on the foam of the sea. We tire of the flame of the meteor before it can fade and flee. And the flame of the blue star that lingers hung low on the fall of the sky has awaked in our hearts, my beloved, a sadness that will not die. A weariness comes from those dreamers dew-dabbled the lily and rose. Ah, dream not of them, my beloved, or the flame of the meteor that goes, or the flame of the blue star that lingers hung low in the fall of the dew. For I would we were changed to white birds on the wandering foam, I and you. I am haunted by numberless islands and many a Danann shore, where time would surely forget us and sorrow come near us no more. Soon far from the rose and the lily and threat of the flames would we be, were we only white birds, my beloved, buoyed out on the foam of the sea. the Ballydesmond Polkas. We're getting everybody's neighborhood in here. And certainly, Kevin Doyle, you are a homegrown hero in Providence. But they say that every hero has to be tested and go on a journey, and you leave the familiar neighborhood behind, and we'd like to know what happened after your dance lessons left the kitchen sink and headed to the world and land of competition.
Well, after my mom decided that we needed a more disciplined form of instruction, I guess with a little more focus than your mom teaching you, so she took us to a place in Providence, Rhode Island, where we had two wonderful instructors come down on Sunday afternoons, Steve Carney and Mary Sullivan from Boston. And they were teachers every Sunday afternoon. And this is where I learned some of my most competitive steps. I moved on to the world of competition, and most of the time I danced the hornpipe, a very old traditional dance. And this is a dance that has steps in it that are over 150 years old, and they were taught by the dance masters in Ireland. And they used to travel around and stay in the villages 6 to 8 weeks at a time and teach the people of the village how to dance. And so these guys were very flamboyant characters, walked with a big staff, and very well respected, put up in the nicest homes because they really honored his folk art. But it was also common that if there was another dance master that felt he encroached on their territory, his territory, they would have a dance-off, a dance challenge. And they would take the half doors off the cottages and have a dance competition right in the middle of the crossroads. And usually the last man standing was victorious and was allowed to teach in the other dance master's territory. And it was also common in those days that if there was a village envious of his style of dance in that village there, they would actually kidnap the dance master and take him to their village. So that doesn't go on anymore, but it happens once in a while in Providence, Rhode Island. But we're going to dance for you now an Irish hornpipe.
Now, can you imagine him dancing that marvelous hornpipe in that wee little costume right over there? The green and the gold.
That's the first medal I won in 1959. Of course, they sent us over from Ireland, and all the competitions was about 90 degrees. We had to hang around all day with this wool, the finest wool from Ireland. And this is what we had to hang, waiting to compete in. So that was 8 years old.
One of the wonderful things about the traditional arts is whether they are conveyed and preserved for us by memory or by the wonders of technology that allow us to share all of this. It's all of the arts, including the needle arts, that make an entire traditional world. And it's amazing to be able to look at the 1950s as they have come to bear on 2014. But just like the needlework and the dances and the tunes, just like the old hornpipes danced on the decks of Rhode Island's colonial privateer ships, the songs and melodies of Ireland made a home in America from very early days. Siúl Gra, a 17th century song of lost love, would become Johnny Has Gone for a Soldier during the American Revolution, and come to rest in the piano bench in Victorian and early 20th century New England parlors. Inspired by a 1915 arrangement by William Arms Fisher, published by the Ditson Company, this version of Siúl Gra is in memory of that. And I'd like to thank Donna Long for playing along. I'm going to sing the two verses that certainly made their way into the American colonial version of Siúl Gra. His hair was black, his eye was blue, his arm was stout, his word was true. I wish in my heart I was with you. Go day to Mavornin Salon. Siúl Gra. Only death can ease my woe, since the lad of my heart from me did go. Go day to Mavornin Salon. I sold my rock, I sold my wheel. When my flax was spun, I sold my wheel to buy my love a sword of steel. Go day to Mavornin Salon. Siúl Gra. Only death can ease my woe, since the lad of my heart from me did go. Go day to Mavornin Salon.
Mary Lee Poddington. Thank you, Mary Lee. Well, now it gives me great honor to introduce the next gentleman to you. I was here last year in Washington for the first time with the NEA, and this man you're going to meet next was gracious enough to invite me as a step dancer with his band. He was a 2013 fellow. He was a 10-time All-Island National Fiddle Champion that no one has ever passed that record to this day. And we're so thrilled to have him with us. He was the first gentleman I called when I got notification of my award. And I said, Sheamus, I said, you've got to come to D.C. with me. I said, you know the drill. I said, and you just make me feel so comfortable. And, of course, his talent was the number one thing on my mind. So I'm going to introduce you now to Séamus Connolly to play a lovely set of airs and tunes for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is indeed a great honor for me to be back here again. I knew I'd find a way to get back here. But I had such a wonderful time last year, and I don't remember half of it. But it all came back to me, and I've done a lot of crying since I came here. You know, very, very emotional. And last evening with the presentation was just so wonderful, and it brought back lots of memories. And I think it was Donna, our friend at the piano, said it was like a late reaction, you know. So it's wonderful to be here. It's a great honor to be on stage with all of these people, Chris and Josh and Donna and Mary Lee, and of course Kevin and Maureen and Shannon as well. So I'm going to, with Donna's help, play an air that we enjoy playing together. It's called The Lark in the Clear Air, and I would like to dedicate this to one of my favorite fiddle players. And he's in the front row, Dr. Alan Jabor. That's great.
Séamus Connolly and the band. Josh Kane on flute. Donna on piano. Junior Stevens. Constantina. Yeah. Well, we're going to continue on now with another piece of my dance history, and it was my interest in tap dance. And that happened when I was about 10 years old. I seen the movie Yankee Doodle Dandy portraying the life of George M. Cohan. And James Cagney did such wonderful dancing in that movie. I went running out into the kitchen. I said, Mom, I'm not going to give up Irish step dance, but I want to learn how to do some of that tap dancing. So she took me. My mom was such an advocate for any kind of passion that we had as children that she took me out to this wonderful lady. Hold on, Donna, 1 minute, honey. And I'm going to show you and tell you about my history. I went out to Teresa Landry's School of Dance in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And there's a woman there that is here with me right now that's going to come up on the stage. Come right up. Teresa Landry, she's 92 years old, still teaches 2 days a week. And here she is. The one and only Teresa Landry.
Thank you, Kevin. This is the highlight of my life. To think that I'll be 93 in 2 months, and I have the honor of being here with Kevin, to see him from the time he was a little boy, 10. He was always the star of my show, and when I would do the buck and wing, he would be looking at me saying, I'll do it someday. And my God, you have done it someday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's one other honor that I have being in this building, The Voices of War, the book, The Voices of War. I'm on page 500 on one page, and Marilyn Monroe's on the other page, but the Teresa Landry dances are on that page. We did war dances. I sold bonds, and you remember doing the bond and all those prison shows, hot fun shows, shows for the elderly. You did it all, and God bless you. You are so wonderful.
Thank you.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to actually show you one of those routines that Teresa Landry taught me, and it's called the George M. Cohan dance, and very patriotic and very appropriate for the Washington, D.C. So we're going to do the George M. Cohan, and Donna's going to start me off. Thank you.
I'm glad you don't have to sing after that. Well, the vaudeville era continued to mine Irish themes and melodies in Cohan's era. And Rhode Island's Gladys Dennis, a prolific lyricist in 1915, was not to be left out of the act. And so, to Cohan's Mary and Thomas Westendorf's 1875 Kathleen, we offer, through the generous efforts of the Orwig and John Hay Libraries at Brown University, Doreen of Dublin and Doyle's Waltz Clog. Maestro? Dublin has many fair lassies in Ireland or the sea, but there is one I hold dearest than all the world to me. Never was there such a colleen as sweet Doreen of mine, dresses as dark as the night, dear, blushing smiles all the time. Oh, Doreen of Dublin, fair as the morn, cheeks like blushing rosebuds, sweet as the dawn. Since first I met ya, with eyes so blue, sweet Doreen of Dublin, I love you. Dublin is calling me, laddies, my heart tells me to stay with the lass I hold dearest, never more will we stray. Happy we'll both be at meeting, never more will we part. Doreen of Dublin, I love you, you still possess my heart. Doreen of Dublin, fair as the morn, cheeks like blushing rosebuds, sweet as the dawn. Since first I met ya, with eyes so blue, sweet Doreen of Dublin, I love you. Ah, Josh Kane, your great-grandmother would be proud. In fact, when we think about Margaret Taylor Doyle, in so many ways, today's concert reminds us to cherish the ladies. From Margaret Doyle to Teresa Landry, and now to Donna Long. We first met Donna when she performed in Providence in the 1980s with the remarkable First Ladies of Irish Music in America, the ensemble Cherish the Ladies. Donna has continued to perform, teach, and record the music that she loves in a tradition that she cherishes and that cherishes her. Please welcome Donna Long.
Thank you. I spent 10 years with Cherish the Ladies, and it was some of the most fun I ever had. There were many great times traveling through. Our first gig was in Germany, so we didn't even have a rehearsal. It was, it was a lot of fun. And I learned my music first from Brendan Mulvihill, and owe him for such a great wealth of music in my life. And it came from kind of a combination of me growing up in a classical tradition, and I always wanted to improvise on all my classical pieces, which I got in trouble for. But when I heard the Irish tradition playing pieces of music by Turlough O'Carolan, I heard them improvising, and I said, this is the music for me. So ever since then, I've been playing Irish music and also learning more and more pieces by O'Carolan. And his music comes from the harping tradition, way back in the late 1600s, and was written down just with the melody. So I've had a lot of fun going through hundreds of these tunes and creating different arrangements. And the piece I'm going to play today is called Captain Higgins. And it starts off with kind of a slow piece, and it goes into a little bit of a jig, and I made a melody, a little medley out of it. So here it goes. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Well, we're at the end of our program, and I'd like to just thank the Library of Congress for having this privilege to perform here today, as so many great people have been here in the past. I want to thank the National Endowment for the Arts for the opportunity and the award that they have given me. And I just want to end off now with something to say about the tradition. My daughter, Shannon, is an Irish step dancer. Once again, she lost her interest in the ninth grade. She went into gymnastics, but she was a wonderful dancer as a young girl. And thanks to the apprenticeship grant from the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts with Randy Rosenbaum and the staff over there, I had Shannon as my apprentice, and she got interested again in the Irish step dance, and she's now teaching it as well. So on this last set of tunes, I will be joined by my sister Maureen and my daughter Shannon. And I thank you all for coming today, and I have a DVD and some CDs over here of the band that I perform with. If anyone's interested, they can come up at the end. So once again, thanks. You were in a wonderful audience. Thanks to the band, and thanks for the sound people. Everyone made it sound so good today. Thank you. So thank you once again. McLeod's Reel, as my mom used to do it every morning in front of the kitchen sink. Dum diddly diddle I die diddly lum diddly diddle I die diddly lum diddly diddle die die diddly diary up diddly lum. Shannon, thank you very much for coming. Bye, thank you.
Kevin Doyle and friends.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Teresa. Dr. Wendy Lambert.
Thank you all for joining us today. If you'd like to talk to Kevin, or if you have any questions, come on down. If you'd like to talk to them about getting a hold of their music or DVDs or anything like that, please come on down. Thank you for joining us for our last concert in the Homegrown series of 2014. And please join us next year, starting in January, February. We'll start our new little concerts in Woodall Pavilion, so be on the lookout for those. Thanks very much. Kevin Doyle and friends.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.